Welcome to the Church of Mabus radio show. It's Friday night, 7:11 p.m. Central. We got Jay McNicholas here with us tonight. And how's it going, Jay?
Going pretty good. A little tired. I've been up since 5, but I'm ready for the show. It should be a good one.
Yep. And we got Willy Hassell and Lynne Nickerson here with us. How are you guys doing? Good to have you here.
Terrific. Thanks for having us.
We're doing good. Good. Nice to talk to you.
And that's Spirit Chasers Paranormal. What can you tell us about that for our audience to get us started?
Take it away.
Well, you're the director. You're the founder.
All right. Well, I'm director of Spirit Chasers Paranormal. We have a paranormal investigation research group. We do mostly historical type of locations.
Or public buildings.
Historical and public buildings. We've done several libraries in the area.
Stay away from residences.
Yeah, we don't do residential. Don't want to get into that. Spirit Chasers have been around now for
nigh on 15 years.
Yeah, probably close to 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we're on Facebook, but on Facebook it is Spirit Chasers Paranormal NH. Because there is also another one down in South Carolina, I believe. There was when we started the page.
So how weird has it gotten? Is it strictly ghosts and spirits, or how weird has it gotten?
As far as Spirit Chasers goes, mostly ghosts. Lynn is more into other stuff than I am, the UFOs and time slips and all that stuff.
But, we've had things like anomalous photographs and, stuff we can't explain in photographs. And we've had reports, we've heard voices, a lot of EVP recordings. So it's not just sighting ghosts, but it's hearing them, hearing the noises they make, stuff falling over, stuff being thrown.
Yeah, all kinds of neat stuff. It's fun.
It is.
That's the way I
it's
think.
Very educational.
It's fun. Educational. It's we've seen a lot of stuff that we just can't explain.
Yep.
And what do you think the majority of these are? Do you think they're spirits that are kind of trapped here, or is it the memories of spirits that kind of make impressions, or a bit of everything?
Oh boy, you better answer that one, because you won't like my answer.
I think it's a bit of everything. There's a lot of residual energy. Then we've got a lot of active energy. Sometimes, depending on what groups come to the building, I think that they create portals. And sometimes other ghosts just drop in that are totally unrelated to the land or the people who lived in the James house. So there's a variety. We've even captured pictures of ETs in the windows. And I dismissed it. Sometimes, being skeptical is a good idea, but sometimes I throw things out without giving it consideration. So I thought, I shouldn't be seeing an ET in the window. And then other people brought up that they saw the same thing. So why would they be there? Who knows? But a lot of people being receptive at a higher frequency, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they're curious about human behavior. It's hard saying, not knowing.
We should probably mention, because Lynn just mentioned the James house. We haven't actually brought that up yet. But that is a house that was built in 1723 right here in Hampton, New Hampshire. And we are on the board of directors there. And Spirit Chasers also is in charge of the paranormal at the house. So we do a lot of events. We have public investigations and private investigations. And so that's how this James house, that's our connection with the James house, yeah.
So you were saying that we may not want to hear your perception of it, Willie. What is that? Now I want to hear it, like a little bit of it.
Now you got to spill it.
No, it's just I am a very, very skeptical believer.
To a fault.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And in the years that I've been doing this, like I say, many things I just can't explain. With voices, EVPs, I've been touched, I've been attacked, I've been, all kinds of stuff. But do I actually think it's ghosts of dead people? I don't know. I'm still working on that one. I know there's something going on that I cannot explain. Exactly what it is, I don't know yet.
Why don't you like giving it a name?
Because I don't know what it is.
Ah.
Yeah,
Something.
and I agree with you on that point, because it's really, I mean, aside from photographs and some voice phenomenon recorded on tape and digital, it's hard to get actual real data. So we know there's something going on with it, but there's no you just can't pull the truth out of it. And then the other thing is, you hear about stories like demons. Like when you watch the Exorcist movie, the demon's able to imitate other people's voices and trick people into thinking they are what they aren't. So maybe some of the ghosts aren't actual spirits, but some sort of entities out there that are just imitating so they can get into our world somehow.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're not going to agree with me on this one, but I don't believe there is any such thing as demons.
I do.
A lot of people do.
A lot of people do. I don't happen to.
But the point is, with all this equipment, it pretty much measures energy, electromagnetic energy. But then you've got the supplemental input of people's psychic abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And that varies according to each person. So I think when you're trying to ascertain what you're dealing with, you have to go along with the mental images that you receive, the feelings that you receive. Sometimes you receive dialogue in your head. You feel someone is talking to you and telling you something. So you can't just take a ghost and a piece of evidence out of context. You have to put it all together to get a better idea of what you're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The bottom line to me is, do ghosts exist? It hasn't been proven.
I agree with that.
There's no actual proof of it.
That's not true.
I knew you were going to disagree with me. One thing I have to say is, previously, going back years, I never really thought too much about it. People who are psychic. But since I met Lynne, I've completely changed my opinion on that, because she definitely does pick up stuff. And other people that I have met over the years, being in this field, there is definitely something to this psychic. And I always say I'm as psychic as a rock. She tells me, you got some stuff, but really, I'm not psychic at all.
I don't think I am either.
Tendency to close your mind, so you're not going to pick up stuff. And I know you say no.
I'm always tell you, I'm open. I'm just waiting. Somebody just got to come hit me over the head. That's all.
I've looked in and talked to a lot of different people about trauma and having these experiences. And I think that's where mine kind of fits in, why a lot of people think I can see some stuff with my physical. Like, I've seen 2 shining beings of light, completely sober, as if they were in my home down here in Florida on Silver Lake. We don't live there anymore, but something told me to go outside and look towards the house, and I saw 2 shining people as if they were in my home and came out the roof and flew into the heavens, completely sober. Now, I've seen stuff in my early days partying too, so I just throw the completely sober because nothing, I wasn't on anything, not tobacco, not weed, anything. And I've had a lot of people pass away in my life. So, I mean, I wonder if that was, deceased people. I don't know what it was. Angels, I've heard everything. Aliens.
But you do get the impression that it's like a living entity, don't you?
Yes, definitely. Okay. And it's like something, I liken it to God putting his hand on your head and showing you something. Because when I've had those experiences, it's like there's something bigger than me showing it to me. And then later, when you want to see it, of course, you won't. It's dull. You don't see anything. So
There are
but-
different gradations of these energies, and people give them different names. Ghost is only one of them. Sometimes it's spirits, sometimes it's demons, sometimes it's elementals. You have to take it within the context.
And of course, not to get too into this, of course, but testicular cancer. I woke up and found out we took one from you, and I've kind of, it's kind of like Odin's eye, but not really. But suffering can cause those things, and I do think there's something to that. And I don't know any absolutes about it, but I think that's why. That's a lot of suffering, to open you up. There's something to it.
You hear a lot of times about people having traumas and becoming very psychically aware. We have a good friend who was struck by lightning twice. And after that, she was just really extremely psychic.
Wow. I had a situation. I was interviewing Serge Kahali King, a Huna Hawaiian shaman, a long time ago, and lightning came through the phone and got me. And I had sandals on. It struck in front of the house and traveled through the phone as I was doing the interview. And he goes, "That's a sign of great power," which was kind of a joke and serious, I guess. But it scared the living crap out of me. I was lucky.
So you didn't get hurt? Is that right?
No, it just went through the line and just I felt it, but it didn't hurt me. It scared me.
I got indirectly struck by lightning one time.
Yeah, I did too.
I don't have any special power.
Yeah.
I
got indirectly hit too. Nothing happened.
What was that, Jay?
I also was indirectly struck by lightning, and I didn't gain any extra psychic powers or anything.
Yeah, we got cheated, didn't we?
Yeah, and I can't run fast like the Flash. It's
So
but yeah, we definitely felt it. We were all lifeguards, and the pool was closed. We had to close because of lightning, so everyone went home. And all the lifeguards, we had to stay there and watch the pool because we're still open. So one guy is like 6 foot tall, and he's leaning. He's able to touch the gutter on the building. He's holding onto the gutter, and then 25 yards away on the other side of the pool, the lightning struck the deck. And all the energy, it went right across the rain through the water in the pool and hit every one of us. All of our hair went up straight.
Wow.
And the guy who was touching the gutter, he was where the nails are. That's where his palm was. And it burnt the impression of the nail into his hand. And from that point on, we all stayed inside until the storm went away.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So did he have to have some kind of stitches or something?
No, it was just a mild burn. I wouldn't even see it was a 1st-degree burn, but we had medical stuff there. He was able to treat himself right there in the office.
Oh, that's kind of frightening.
Yeah.
Really unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of wakes you up.
Oh yeah, we were definitely woke up. That's for sure.
So, Willie, as a skeptic, has there been anything that you've seen that's rattled you? That's happened with all this. That's rattled the skepticness.
Rattled the skepticness. Is that a word? Skepticness.
No, probably not. That's the Georgia word.
Well,
Does that be something you've seen?
Yeah, like I say, I've seen and heard a lot of things that I can't explain. We like I say, we do events at the James house. Sometimes we do seances and this and that. But we were doing a table session one night, and just as we were getting done, we were all getting up, and I witnessed it. Everybody else witnessed it. A cell phone slid across the table all by itself. Nobody anywhere near it. Can't say it rattled me, but it's one of those things that I have to say, well, something's going on. I don't know what it is, but something's going on.
So do you think when you croak or you die, you carry on? A part of you carries on? Because I always say death is kind of the biggest evidence of the paranormal, because when you die, you're pretty much your ass is being ejected into the paranormal, as far as I know. That part that lives on, supposedly. If it doesn't, then that's really disappointing.
I don't know. As far as that goes, I just have to hope that there's something there. I don't know what it is, and nobody has been there and come back to tell us. So we just have to wait and see.
Well, they do feel that, psychologists anyway, that the consciousness exists just outside of the body, like around the head. And that's where it resides, and it's in communication with the brain electromagnetically. So it's always alive.
Yeah.
So
And
to
from
me,
what
I,
yeah.
I think that's a component of the ghost or the spirit, consciousness.
According to Einstein's theory, we carry on the energy. So
From my experiences, I know there's something to the light being thing. I may not know exactly what it is, but there's some connection to us in that. Maybe I know shamans talk about luminous beings of light. Then have you ever seen Ron Howard's Cocoon with all the old people in the swimming pool and Steve Gutenberg and the
Yes, yeah.
little glowy aliens?
Yeah.
I think he might have did shrooms for that one and tapped into something. But there's something to the light being thing. That's all I know. I may not know exactly what, but maybe it's kind of our butterfly form. Like this is the caterpillar, and then that's the butterfly, the light being part. But
I just know I'm not in any hurry to find out.
yeah,
No.
it's creepy either way. You can't take cool stuff with you. Like, I really like that book. That's not going. I really like that PlayStation game. That's not going. Yeah.
Or
My
your
comic
cat.
book
Your cat's
Yeah.
not going.
That's debatable now. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Did you see this thing? There's a thing on Facebook of an elderly gentleman with his cat in a chair. And actually, someone named David Robinson told this story, and I'll just read it real quick. This is my father together with Robin, the cat we had at home for 17 years. When we saw them sleeping so tenderly, we rushed to get the camera. This is the last photo of my father that very evening. He left us forever, taking a piece of our hearts with him. You won't believe it, but this is also the last photo of Robin. Exactly 2 nights later, he left us too. Basically, a cat that was close to him died 2 nights later after he died. We are sure there is meaning to all this, that Robin, who was very attached to my father, chose to follow him, unable to bear the separation. Now we imagine them still like this, wrapped in an embrace that nothing and no one can separate. And it seems to be a real post. There's a picture of an elderly gentleman with the cat, and the cat died 2 days later after he left because they were, I guess, connected. So that's pretty interesting to think about for sure. I've lost pets, and it definitely sucks. It's one of the worst.
Oh yeah.
Dog, horrible. But that was a neat one on Facebook that I saw recently. It's actually from a person that seems like they really lost their father. I tried to research it to make sure, no BS.
Yeah.
But I sent you that one, Willie, on Facebook if you want to look at it at some point, or any of y'all do. But I think I sent it to Jay too.
Yeah,
But
I saw it when I came home.
okay, there's like people crying under it and stuff. I got mushy feelings, but I didn't cry under it or anything. But so Lynn, what's up with the time slips? Are we in a multiverse like Marvel, Loki?
Well, I think our reality is dependent on the perceiver, the person who is perceiving, and that just because we can't see it, it doesn't mean it's there, and we just don't know how to define it. So, relative to that, I had a dream. I called it the lottery house. It was in this book. There we go. Gateway to the Paranormal. And the reason it was called the lottery house is because the woman who lived there after I found her, she won the lottery and she moved to Florida. So that's the reason I called it that. But the point was, 2 years previous, I had had a dream that I found a house and I was flying through it and around it. And I knew the location. It overlooked a field that went straight to a bluff over a river. And it was lined on the left-hand side with trees. The trees have been artificially cut to create a line. And the house, there was a rock wall out in front of it. And it was split in half because there was a path going to the front of the house. It was kind of like a very early New Englander. And around 2 sides of the house were lilac bushes. And they were all relatively young because they were about 3 and 4 feet high. I have no idea why I dreamt of this house. I was flying in and out of the windows, and I could smell lilacs. And the next thing I knew, I woke up. It took me 2 years to find the house. I happened to move into the neighborhood, and after a year, I was walking the streets on the perimeter of this place, and I found it. The house was basically the same. It still had the stone wall. It still overlooked the river, but all the lilac bushes had grown. So it says to me that, I was out there flying around, my consciousness was anyway, but I went back in time. And then subsequent to that, I had a regressive hypnotic dream. And come to find out, apparently I lived there for a while. At least that's what this regression seemed to reveal. And that my husband at the time worked at a big brewery in the town, but he never came home much. And so my best friend was my cook and housekeeper. And we used to sit on that porch and talk. So that makes sense now as to why that house was important to me. Other than that, I had no connection to it. But it was odd that I went back in time and saw it as it had been then. The other thing was, too, a couple of houses had been built up around it. So at the time of the dream, it was pretty much alone. So it was interesting. It was all, historically traceable. So what was that, What's time and what's reality? It's what you perceive. And I think the reality is made up of a lot of different dimensions. And depending on our growth, I think we're able to access more and more dimensions. And maybe it's only periodic, like maybe a portal opening and closing, but yeah. There was quite a conundrum for a while, but it sort of unraveled itself. The connection was a prior incarnation. So what do you think about that?
I think quantum physics ties into it heavily, and there's a lot of that. Yeah. Definitely, that's a big part of it. And they've even, said they found other dimensions and stuff like that. So it's very complex for sure. We have a Charles Liu, Liu, that may be coming on about quantum physics. He wrote a book from Roger, Visible Ink Press. We're hoping to get that on in September, but I know a little bit about it, but I'm definitely not someone that's like rattling on about it. I don't know that much about it. I would like to learn. I'd like to learn. No, I know Ron Moorhead gets into it a lot in Quantum Bigfoot. That's one of his books. And his newest book, Bigfoot Unveiled, David Paulides gives an intro for it. And he explains scientifically a lot of these strange things that Bigfoot can do, like the chameleon effect where they blend. Like he's really good at getting into it scientifically. What others go, that's woo and blah, blah, blah. He, kind of is in your face, slap with the science with it. Like an octopus can do that kind of stuff. I saw some documentary on Disney about octopuses, and there was one of them that actually mimicked a fish that it was hiding from and became like the fish and just passed right by it. Like
it's amazing,
yeah, some craziness. That's nuts, but just the fact it's hard to believe about Bigfoot. There's some video on Unexplained Mysteries channel on YouTube, and it's a helicopter lifting a Bigfoot out. And of course,
you sent me that too. I saw that.
I don't profess to think it's real. I don't know. Maybe it is, but I don't know. Probably not, but maybe.
Sounds a little far out.
It looks kind of hokey.
I've heard stories about Mount St. Helens fire and Bigfoot bodies and weird stuff like that. What was up with that Yellowstone thing? That was kind of creepy. They just had an explosion there and everybody ran like that was really happened. I think it was hopefully just a one-time thing.
And when was that, Jeffrey? When was that?
A few days ago.
A few days ago. Okay. Was there an earthquake involved with that?
It was more like they called it something weird scientific, but it was like a mushroom cloud going off. Ooh. And people filming it were like, oh my God, and running. And you can find it on YouTube, Yellowstone recent event.
It is a volcano they're standing on, so it could have been a vent exploding. No problem there.
It's the creepiest video I've ever seen like that. I mean, it was real and on like ABC News and stuff. But it was definitely creepy because you're like, okay, is this about to go?
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but it's possible. And then, so what's up with the James house, Willie? What's some history about that? Like, what happened there exactly?
Lynn knows the history better than I do, so I'll let her take care of that.
Geez, thanks.
You can just summarize.
There were 7 generations of the same family living there. What they do is it was the custom to pass a house to the first son, and they had a whole bunch of first sons, and each generation had quite a few children. So the first 3 generations were weavers,
I think so, yeah.
and then there was a carpenter, followed by a house joiner, and the third one. 3 of the subsequent men of the house worked at a mill in town, so they were all pretty familiar with wood.
Yeah, they were part owners of the mill.
Yep, they were part owners too, and they worked there. And they were also gentlemen farmers. They had orchards, vegetable gardens. They salt, marsh, hayed, and I think probably to sell it, but also for the benefit of their livestock. And
they had dairy cattle.
Yeah, toward the end, actually, it's the Campbells, I think, that had the dairy cattle.
Was it the Campbell?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So they had their fingers in a lot of different things. So over the course of 223 years, a lot happened on the land.
Yeah, they built the house in 1723.
1707 to begin with.
Well, the original house, yeah. And the main house that's there now is 1723.
Right.
And was it 6 or 7 generations?
7 generations of Jameses, and then 2 generations of people by the name of Campbell, and then it went unoccupied.
Yeah, so the James family sold it to the Campbells in 1930. And we don't know exactly the year, but it's probably somewhere in the late 60s is the last time that anybody lived in the house. The house has been empty ever since then, except for do I dare say ghosts?
Well, yeah, the ghosts.
Empty except for the spirits. And now it's on the National Register of Historic Places.
Yep.
A lot of history, and like I said, we're on the board of directors there. And Spirit Chasers is in charge of the paranormal at the house.
Yep. So, relative to the James house and the idea of ghosts, I got 2 definite mental images, like visions, of 2 of the men that lived there. And I wound up having both corroborated by other people. So that tells me someone who was once living is still hanging around, which I would call a ghost. Yeah. But one of them was, he was very cocky. We call him Mr. Grumpy Pants because he doesn't seem to like children, and he growls at people. So one day, after we had an investigation, I had a dream, and I had a dream about this guy who looked like a pirate, and he was coming after me. And he was also, I was kind of partially paralyzed. I couldn't move. And he was hovering right over me, and then I woke up. Well, come to find out, this is Mr. Grumpy Pants. He appeared to me in a dream so that I'd understand what he looked like. He was trying to get rid of us. He felt like the James house was his domain. And other people had picked up on him and described him the same way I saw him in my dream. And the second instance was Frank James, who was no relation to the family, but he was a manager on the farm for a good 20 or 30 years. I saw him mentally, and come to find out, a little 5-year-old kid described the same man to his mother. So that was really refreshing that I got a solid impression of what this guy looked like. So was that a ghost? In my book, it is. You know, when go ahead.
What did he look like again?
Okay, this guy, Frank James, he appeared a couple of times to 2 different people, me and another woman named Lindsay. When I saw him, he was like in his Sunday best upstairs in the attic where his bedroom and workshop was. He appeared in a long black vest, a white fluffy shirt, black knickers, black shoes, each with a buckle on it. And he had, I'd say, about shoulder-length white hair that he had pulled into a ponytail at the nape of his neck. He did not let me see him full facially. It was kind of like at an oblique angle. But the kid described the same man, said to his mother that Frank doesn't like kids. And she said, well, who's Frank? And he said, the man that lives in the attic. And she says, well, who is he? He described him as having a black suit on and that he had a white ponytail. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Actually,
Definitely.
is the gateway to the paranormal. I wrote about that. And there's more in the upcoming book that I've got too on additional ghosts that we've made contact with.
This all started for us. What was it? 2013.
2013.
Yeah. We just stopped by there one day. I had never even heard of the place, even though I live in the same town. And we just stopped by it was an open house. Yeah. And Lynn and myself, we just went and walked through the house by ourselves, self-guided tour. And she said, there are spirits in this house. And I said, okay.
There's a lot of energy.
A lot of energy. How would we put it? Yeah. So afterwards, we went outside looking for somebody to talk to see if we could possibly get an investigation. And we ran into Skip Webb, who was the president at the time. We said, have you ever, had anything strange happen in the house? He said, no, I haven't myself. But neighbors report strange lights in the building. They see figures walking around upstairs.
Like with a lantern, carrying a lantern,
with a lantern
or even a candle.
And they call the police. The police come. The doors are all locked. There's nobody there. So we said, hey, would you be open to a paranormal investigation?
And he says yes.
And he thought we were crazy, but he says, yeah, why not? I guess he probably thought it was kind of amusing. So he was a definite skeptic, thought we were out of our minds. Yeah. But after a while, we turned him around, and now he believes.
And don't forget, he had his own paranormal experience, too. He
had a couple of things,
a woman in a green dress, and he saw her on a camera screen, but he couldn't see her with his own eyes. It was interesting.
So that was 2013, and we've been investigating the place ever since.
Yeah.
And what was the documentary, the USS Salem? Y'all did that?
The USS Salem is
another haunted place.
It's a very haunted Navy ship. I got to get my notes to get all these dates right, but it's the only heavy cruiser, United States Navy heavy cruiser still in existence. It is not an active duty anymore. It's at the
Quincy?
The name of the shipyard escapes me. It's in Quincy, Mass. And now it's part of the United States Naval Shipbuilding Museum. It was there was originally 12. The government had originally ordered 12 ships to be built. This was like back during World War II. Only 3 of them actually got built. The USS Salem was the last one. She was the mid 1940s. I'll just go with that. The keel was laid down, and then she was 2 years later. She finally was finished. Not commissioned until 1949, after World War II was over. So she never actually saw any action in war. She was only commissioned for 10 years and decommissioned and sent to the mothball fleet in 1959. And then in 1994, the USS Salem Association had it returned to Quincy, where it is now like I say, it's part of the museum.
It did serve as a floating hospital, though. There was that.
Even though the ship never saw any action in battle, there were somewhere over 90 deaths associated with the ship. At one point, it was in 1953 that
earthquake in Greece.
She responded to an earthquake in the Ionian Islands in Greece, and she was only there for a few days as a makeshift hospital, and a lot of victims from the earthquake were brought onto the ship. Civilians, There was actually several births. Pregnant women, due to the shock of the earthquake, they gave birth on the ship. So they, there's some of them who do linger on board. There were other cases. At one point, she was docked alongside. Oh, I can't see my notes. Docked alongside another Navy ship down in, I think it was Norfolk, Virginia, and there was an explosion on the other ship, and some of those sailors were brought onto the Salem where they died on the Salem. There was another incident. She was on her way to France doing maneuvers with another ship. They were doing like they're firing the big guns, testing out guns, doing maneuvers. And there was an accident on the other ship where one of the guns, something happened and the gun exploded.
Ooh.
One of the seamen was killed instantly, and a couple more were brought onto the Salem where they died from their injuries. So there were a lot of deaths on a ship that never saw action. It is very haunted now. And the documentary, it was just a fun project. I essentially had a 717-foot Navy ship with unrestricted access. Just go and play and film, and for about 3 or 4 months. This was 3 years ago. And if anybody is interested, it is on YouTube. If you just go to YouTube and type in Soul of the Sea Witch, it should come right up. And the reason it's called the Sea Witch is because she is named after Salem, Mass., which is the witch city. Cool. So they referred to the ship as the Sea Witch. And Soul of the Sea Witch was just kind of an odd thing. We were just sitting around one night. I think it was a KRI, wasn't it? I'm not sure, but I know I asked it there. I said, can an inanimate object of any kind have a soul? And I didn't tell anybody what I was thinking about at the time. And, everybody had their theories on it. And so then, I said, well, I'm thinking, the USS Salem. So what do you guys think? Can a ship like that have a soul?
I don't know about the ship, but there are lots of stories of haunted ships with, haunted crews, undead crews and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's something to it, but does the actual boat itself have one? I don't think so.
No.
I think it acquires an aura, though.
Yeah. The soul.
Almost a patina.
Yeah, the soul of the ship would actually be the souls of all the people who were on the ship and lost their lives and worked on the ship. And, I think it's a collective thing. But it just seemed like a good name for a documentary.
I think they can have a life force, or like a house can have something that may not be like ours, but it's something. There's something going on with some of this stuff. That's for sure. There's some kind of energy there that gestates.
So while we were filming, just about everybody on the crew had some kind of experience, from seeing strange mist to shadow figures,
hearing
footsteps.
Voices.
Yeah, hearing voices, footsteps. Everybody had some kind of an experience.
Thinking
it was a fun project.
Seeing John Carpenter's The Fog in my head with the ghost pirates.
The dentist's office is occupied. And what do you call the hospital? The brig? No,
the brig is the prison. The hospital is the hospital.
All right. So the hospital.
They have a surgery ward.
They usually call it sick bay in the Navy.
Sick bay.
Sick bay. That's right. Yeah.
That's haunted too.
But the ship now, it's like it really hasn't changed. I mean, there's one section where they've turned into an actual museum, but most of the ship, it's essentially like it was, back in the 1940s, 50s. The dentist office is still, everything is still there. There's even a set of dentures laying on the table. The surgery ward is still all there, all complete, and everything.
It's definitely creepy for sure. Did you sleep in it or just stay there for visit?
I never stayed overnight. I wish I had. I still might one of these days. I still love going down there.
I don't know if anyone can see all of it. It's kind of small, but I found the patch for the ship, and there's a witch on a broom right in the middle.
Yeah.
CA 139. That's it. That is
That's
the
pretty
sailboat.
cool.
Yeah. So it was a fun project.
So it was named after a witch, really. So that's cool.
Well, Salem, Massachusetts, is where the witch trial.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the places y'all want to do in the future that you think about or dream about? Dream about in your nightmares. The next places.
Well, what about that business we were going to talk about? That we were
Well, yeah.
to
I
investigate.
mean, we can bring that up. I mean, he asked places in the future, but this is
know.
another place we've already done. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, from each investigation, they're all different, and we experience different things, and we learn different things. So you had gotten a request from this man that his place of business, the employees were kind of getting freaked out.
Yeah.
So as Willie starts to tell me about this, I started getting a mob connection. And I said, either people died there or the directive was given. There's death concerned with this place. And what was the other thing? There was something else too. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was actually a mob connection to it back in the 50s. The building they had their own insurance company, and they did a lot of laundering of money. But the most active places was the basement, and there were 2 rooms in the basement, a furnace room, and then like a man's locker room. And I'm telling you, strange stuff happened in both of them. In the furnace room, we got all kinds of EVPs of masking tape being pulled off a roll, and then a woman kind of crying, talking to a little girl.
Yeah, what happened was we were doing EVP in the furnace room, and then Lynn was like standing with her back to the door up into the hallway when I saw a black, I don't really call it a shadow.
It really is.
Because it was just a black mass go by. So we all took off down to the other end of the basement to see what that was all about.
The black mass. Yeah, into the locker room.
And I left the recorder running in the furnace room while we were gone. So we were gone for about 45 minutes. And on replaying that part of the audio, we came up with a bunch of stuff. But in one section, probably about 2 minutes long, you can hear the sound of duct tape being pulled off a roll. You can hear at different times, you can hear a woman kind of sobbing or something.
Yeah.
But then the really weird part about it is probably the darkest EVP we ever got. A woman, she was almost crying, and she says in a crying voice, she says, "I didn't slit you there." And then there was a child's voice that says, "I know." So, what the hell went on in that furnace room, in that basement with the duct tape, and something happened down there.
Yeah, a lot of untoward things. When we were following the dark shadow, we went into that locker room, and we ran into another entity. The dark shadow disappeared, unless it was that entity, but we don't know.
Yeah, I never saw the shadow after we.
So the K2 meters started going all the way up to the red. So Willie had his infrared camera, and we started filming, and I started interrogating. And I asked him if he worked there in the 50s. So we went through all of the decades of the 1900s until we came to the 1950s to figure out who we were dealing with. Come to find out, the guy we were dealing with was mob. And Willie says, well, I asked, did you kill anybody? And the answer was no. And Willie said, so you were like a leg breaker? And he goes, yes. And I asked him, are you ashamed of what you did? And he said, no. And your response was, like all in the day's work.
Yeah, just another day at the job.
Yeah. So he was very anxious to talk to us. He had been, I think he was harbored in that locker room for a long time. And I don't think he had the ability to communicate with anybody. And I think we were the first ones, probably since the 50s, to even know that he existed there.
Yeah. So,
pretty strange.
like she said, the the business owners, they didn't own the building. They leased the building, and they just owned the business. And it was a family business. They were really nice people. And we did that investigation, and then we discussed coming back to do a follow-up investigation. So when I contacted them, I forget how long.
It was just about 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
And to see if they wanted to do the follow-up. And unfortunately, they had lost their lease. They had to close the business. They got thrown out, essentially. So we think that what happened was the owner of the building that they were leasing it from knows that there was mob activity, and they were afraid that we were going to uncover something. So they said, no, we're not having this, and they threw him out.
They were very upset with him that he had brought in an investigative team.
So I felt really bad about it, but it wasn't our fault, and they knew that. So
I always worry that when you croak, you just stay like where you are and you can't leave or something. That would be terrifying. Like with some of these stories you hear, like you just die and you're stuck wherever you're at in the house, like Beetlejuice or whatever.
Yeah, well, there's some hauntings that are like that. It's like a recording, like the spirit or the ghost or whatever it does. They do the same actions all the time, and usually it's sometimes on certain times of the day, like clockwork. Like you set your watch to them, and it's just like a recording that's just stuck in going like the record. Just keeps playing back over and over.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be stuck like that.
Yeah, no, that would suck.
That would be.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was a very interactive, intelligent haunt. I don't think he was a nice guy.
No,
not if he didn't kill anybody, but
at least he didn't kill.
But he roughed people up.
Well, I mean, but you pulled the guy's name out, so which I think is really, I mean, how do you get a name out of an EVP? It's just they're so strange. And I asked some guys, we have some dudes that are up here in Gettysburg doing investigations on the battlefield, Civil War battlefield, and it's like 30 minutes from me. I need to go and hang out with those guys. But I asked them, I said, have you ever got an EVP where a guy told you his name and then you went and looked on who was at that battle and was that name there? And they said, yes. And I'm like, I mean, that's because you can tie that in. That's like corroborative evidence right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, EVPs are something I can't explain. I can't.
How do you get a recording when you don't have a voice?
Exactly.
To record,
Yeah. Whenever you catch any of those, when you're listening back to the recordings, does it make the hair on the back of your neck stand up?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Every time when I watch the guys up in New England, they did a couple of EVPs, and I think they were in an asylum, and they asked a question. I forget exactly what the question was. What happened to you? How did you die? Something like that. And the response was, when they checked the recordings later on the show, was you heard a female voice, I think, said, he killed me, or he shot me. Something to that effect. It's like, just me right then, my whole spine, big strike of yellow right up the top of it.
We got an EVP at the James house called me by name, which is pretty weird.
Oh, wow.
That's disconcerting.
So they know who I am. They got my number.
So it goes both ways. They can hear us too. Then that's just
Sure.
extra evidence there.
So I think that stuff, especially with the EVP, is pretty good indication that you've got a ghost on your hands. But it all depends on how you define ghost.
Exactly.
But that's me as ghost.
How's the equipment that y'all use and stuff? I know I've come across some of that stuff that you can get on your phone that they claim's real, but I don't really believe it. And I always ask, is this BS? It does do some weird stuff to where it can freak you out and say certain things. Like there's one called Ghost Phone and Necrophonic, and people claiming, in the reviews that it did this or that, but it's kind of hesitant to think your phone can pick that up. But what kind of stuff do you guys use?
I don't believe in any of that stuff either. I've heard that necrophonic. Listen, I've heard that necrophonic, and all it is random word generator.
Yeah, but sometimes it generates words that are very pertinent to what's happening.
Sometimes it might be coincidence. I mean, if you're asking questions that require a yes or no answer, and you get a yes or a no out of it, then don't pay any attention to it. I have heard, I don't know if this is true, that some of those apps, those phone apps, programmed, like for if you're in a specific place, like the Lizzie Borden house, for instance, they're programmed to say the word X. You know, so if you get X at the Lizzie Borden house, okay, is it real or is it just programmed?
How does the app know where you're at, though?
GPS.
How does the app know that?
GPS.
I think there's some AI involved, but I think it can do some synchronistic stuff that you're like, whoa, that's weird. But
Well,
it's
I
like
believe
pulling from a word database.
Yeah, and GPS is often wrong, and it could be the house next door. You know.
Oh, it could be, but you know.
There was, I just saw this one. Sometimes we watch that. Me and Christina, my fiance, watch, what is it? Paranormal Caught on Camera. And there's some, I don't believe everything on there, but it seems like some of it's real. But they were having like poltergeist. Yeah, they had like poltergeist activity in the house, of family drawers open in the bathroom, and then they moved to get away from it. But they only moved next door, and it followed them over there.
That's not far enough.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
There's some weird ones on there, but it's hard to trust. You know, you don't know what's real or what's not.
I know those the ones that I put the most stock in are like surveillance cameras in like in a business or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to fake.
Yeah, well, it obviously can be, but you know, the ones in people's houses, yeah, you don't know whether to believe that or not.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they're interesting to watch, but you can't trust it all.
Yeah, they're amusing. All of those TV shows, they're all entertainment. Is what they are.
Not to get into this heavily, because we usually always do, is the Skinwalker Ranch shows, Beyond Skinwalker Ranch and Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. The reason why, I mean, I think there's genuine phenomenon there, but the creepiest part about those shows is there's so many government spooks on those shows, like former CIA, Robert Bigelow personnel, attorney state generals, like that's the Colonel John Alexander, like that's creepier than the phenomenon to me.
Okay, well, Jeffrey, I wanted to add something, that there's been this this revelation about space arcs. Have you heard about them?
Space ops?
Arcs, A-R-C-A, arcs.
I've heard a little bit. I've heard a little bit about it, but I don't know much about it. But I've heard of it. Yes.
Okay. Well, have you heard of Michael E. Sala, PhD?
Yes.
Yeah, we know.
Kalani was on his show, and I listened to it. Yeah. JP and all that. Yeah.
JP, right. There's some stuff that you got to look at twice about that. He's saying that they're located in outer space, on our moon, on Mars. He's been there. There's one on Ganymede, and there's one in the Atlantic Ocean. And there's supposed to be several on Earth, but one down in Antarctica and another one in Russia. And he said that they all started activating at the same time. And I don't know who actually is monitoring it, but within the Navy and the Army, they got the vibrations recorded somehow. In July of 2021, there was a Galactic Federation meeting on the Ashtar Command, which is located in the atmosphere of Jupiter. And when all of those ships from various races came into the atmosphere of Jupiter, that's when it all started, the activating of these space arcs. JP has been in some of them, and he said that they're like time capsules. There are hieroglyphs, and there's all kinds of information about past civilization history. There are portals in them. So it's almost as if they were buried like time capsules to reveal to people at a certain period in time what the history of the universe is, or history of a solar system. Now, also too, some of them have portals in them. So regarding Skinwalker Ranch, you know, that at the Delta, that wall where they know that there's something metal in there. They don't know what it is. They've been digging and drilling.
Yes.
I think that there's a possibility that it might be a space arc, because you do have the involvement of the government very heavily in this whole spot. And they, up until a certain point, they didn't have an answer for why there were portals or strange creatures. So these space arcs do create portals.
And I think what they need to find out what's in there is dynamite.
What?
Dynamite.
What
Dynamite.
about dynamite?
TNT.
Find out what's in that mesa.
Oh, yeah, they
Never
do.
mind this drilling. Blow
And,
it up.
and these space arcs, since they can be interdimensional, they can simply be put in there. Nobody has to go digging up the stone and burying them. It's like it's an interdimensional thing. They get placed there and they get hidden.
Well, I
It's-
think there's.
You know,
yeah,
he's written 2 of these books about it, so there's something to it, and it's a possibility.
I think there's something to that place, but just knowing that Bigelow was there, you have to wonder if he's already taken stuff just with his personality and everything. I mean, there could still be stuff there. Not saying he got everything, but I would think he got a lot of it for sure because he sees
You
pretty.
mean-
Or at least he got the answers he needed anyway.
In the way of technology?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would imagine.
What's up with that JP guy and ant people in Florida? Like, that's where it gets a little kooky. Not saying it can't be true because I've seen weird little beings in hoods with a black box in the woods with a friend once. So, but the
Yeah.
ant people, what's up with that? That gets a little strange, doesn't it?
I don't know. I think the guy's for real, though,
Yeah.
because the
I mean-
army wanted him.
I know there's people like that, and you're like, well, maybe it could be real, but then there's a part of you like, this guy's nuts, but you just don't know. Maybe it is real. I've seen weird stuff, so I can't judge really that. I
Well,
can't.
the Hopi have stories of wars with an ant-like people that come from underground.
That's
Yeah.
right, yes. Jean Decode talks about the ant people and the praying mantis people
Mhm.
in that Joaquin Valley, is it? It's in Colorado.
Yeah.
On the western slope. San Juan Valley, that's what it is.
So
So
what
I-
was that? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, who knows where some of these beings come from? They could have been brought here early on in our history, or who knows? But they could still reside within the earth. Some of them.
Yeah. Well, we got about 10 minutes. What was up with America's Stonehenge? Did anything happen there? And what will you tell us about that? I've heard of it, but it's
That's a
definitely
great
interesting.
place.
Were there Vikings involved with that? Who built it?
Well, we really don't know. They don't know. I mean, some of the carbon-14 dating tests go back 7,000 years. They're not saying the site is that old, but there was occupation there on the site that long ago. So they claim that Phoenicians had been there, people from the Mediterranean, other people from the Mediterranean. They found Ogam carved into rocks. They found different languages. So I really don't know. I don't think they know who built Stonehenge, but it is astrologically aligned, celestially, solar, moon. They have many, many alignments. And Dennis Stone and his family have been clearing out the different alignments of these stones. And you can see, it looks like a big pinwheel. And you can clearly see that the stones are there and that they are accurate. And the different points on the stones, the sun hits it, either in the morning or in the evening at sunset. It's for real. And it's not a tourist trap.
Yeah, I think one thing's really strange about it is, I don't know which alignment it is, maybe you know, but it actually does line up with Stonehenge in England.
Yes.
You know what
you-
alignment that is?
It doesn't have a name, but
Okay.
of course you can draw any 2 points to make it look like it's aligned, but it goes over the curvature of the earth, and it's there's another point of reference in between, and
Yeah, there is more than just 2 points.
I don't remember what it is, but
it's
it is on a
Dennis's-
ley line that lines up with Stonehenge, England.
You know, Dennis's son, wasn't it?
Yes, Dennis's son
that
discovered that.
Yeah.
Was there natives involved with it at all? How long has it been around?
Before Stonehenge was created, the natives went there, excuse me, particularly in the summer during berry season, to give thanks, to celebrate. So during one of the seances we had, the woman leading the seance connected with the chief, And he said people came afterwards that really vitiated the land. When they were there, it was always happy celebrations, no sacrificing, no bloodletting. It was celebration of life. But then these other people from basically the Mediterranean came and they brought their beliefs about Baal, and then the Brotherhood of the Snake philosophy. There are a lot of serpentine walls there, a lot of connections to snakes. So there were several cultures that believed in that stuff, or that worshiped snakes and were members of the Brotherhood of Snakes. So at one point it got vitiated.
Definitely interesting. I think there's something to dragon energy and serpentine energy, and you see a lot of that with Vlad the Impaler, King Arthur. There's something to it for sure. Earth energy, and Merlin, stories of Merlin. I'm wanting to watch Excalibur again. That's like one of my favorites with King Arthur.
Good movie.
The John Boorman movie. That's really good. I love that one. I could watch it 500 times. But it's hard to believe that guy did Deliverance too.
At one point during that seance, we got drums in the distance. We also got a couple of gunshots, which made no sense. Gunshots at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know what that was. We heard children playing just beyond the light in the dark. A lot of people have heard that. Children shouldn't be playing in the dead of the woods, at night. So that was hard to explain.
Another weird thing was a compass.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing an investigation. My brother had it. It was a wrist compass, actually, like a watch, with a compass on his wrist.
Just as we left it.
Yeah, he left. And it just started spinning wildly. It didn't like veer off to a certain direction. It just started spinning around in circles. Then it would stop and spin back the other way. And at the same time, one of the other investigators said that she heard footsteps in the woods.
And saw some shadows.
And saw shadows at the same time right near there. So that's pretty weird. I don't really know what the spinning compass means, but not normal.
No, it's not. And psychics do believe that there had been human sacrifice there.
I know I've seen a lot of weird stuff lately saying the Earth's core spinning backwards. It was on like Microsoft News and stuff, so I don't know how true that is. That's
relative to the Schumann resonance you're talking about?
Yeah, it was just saying
it's wild.
It feels like it, that's for sure. Something just feels off lately more than ever as we go into November and chaos and whatever the hell else is going to happen this year. That's insane. But I know I saw
surprises.
Yeah. And I know I'm saying the core was spinning backwards in scientists, but I didn't know. I know the natives have talked about stuff like that with shifts and things like that happening to the polar axis shift and stuff. But core spinning backwards, that sounds kind of serious. I don't know much about it, but
yeah, it might prove fatal. But
that's like we need some Star Trek intervention, like something.
We may get it.
Are we going to spin out of control and go flying off into space?
Or go through a black hole? But yeah, it's pretty. Just the energy in the air feels crazy, more crazy every day, just about. But
it seems like people are really angry.
Yes, it does. It's definitely scary for sure.
A lot of uncertainty.
And the war and everything else. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
But we got about 6 minutes. Give us your links and everything. And what have you got a book title for your next book yet, Lynn?
I do, actually. It's Alternate Realities, Ghosts, and the Unexplained.
Nice.
I do have a tendency to have really strange dreams. So that's another thing where I'm a believer that not all dreams are the same. And sometimes our minds do access different realities, different dimensions. Because I've had an awful lot of information revealed. And one dream in particular, I was living on an asteroid and I was a man. And this was relatively recent. And I couldn't tell if it was a future incarnation or maybe a parallel life. So that's in the book too. That's about done. And another very, very strange dream. I dreamt that my consciousness had been taken out of my body which apparently can be done in mind control. And I was taken somewhere to a government facility where I was forced to play these games. And there were all kinds of electrodes attached to me. And they were monitoring everything from perspiration, heart rate, eye movement, as to how I reacted to the problems they presented to me, which was all on a photographer's, screen, the shadow box. That's it, like a photographer's shadow box. And I was paralyzed. I couldn't get out of it. I was forced to do this. And the point of it was, and I knew it during the dream, that they were gathering all of this information in order to write software that they could put in a cyborg for FEMA to cut down, excuse me, on the number of people they can hire. They want to have cyborgs doing that type of work.
Wow.
And make them react really quickly and do multiple tasks at the same time. Like if there's fire in 4 different parts of the city, if there's a stabbing somewhere, a shooting somewhere else, a car accident somewhere else, they get the cyborg to act on it simultaneously. But first they have to gather all of the information to feed into a software system. And I was contributing to that, against my will, I might add. It's a very odd dream.
Yeah, I've had a lot of UFO stuff where it's over you and it seems like it's there for you at your house, whichever house I've moved to. Not here as much, but in the past. And you do wonder if you've been taken, and I don't know if I have.
You do.
So they mind wipe me, but it could explain some craziness I feel all the time that maybe they zap me up. I know I saw Roseanne's, I don't really listen to it, but I just saw it on Rumble. The title of her latest podcast was Did They Kill Biden's Clone?
Is Joe Biden home?
No. They said her title for her show, her podcast was Did They Kill Biden's Clone?
Oh.
That was Roseanne.
No, you just don't know.
So anyway, for other links, like I said, we are on Facebook at Spirit Chasers Paranormal NH. We also did in the past, we did a radio show called Spirit Radio, The Paranormal Experience on WSCA 106.1 FM in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
And it lasted for 6 years.
Yep, 6 years we did the radio show.
Not 17, but 6.
Yeah. We also did a TV show, Edge of Reality TV on HC Media Television in Haverhill, Mass. And if you go to our YouTube page, if you just type in Spirit Radio, The Paranormal Experience, you should get our whole page. There's radio shows and TV shows on there. Soul of the Sea Witch is on there. I have another little documentary of the haunted Hinsdale house up in New York. And those are all on there. And
the other thing I wanted to mention, you can get my books on Amazon.
Oh, Amazon, yeah.
And what's the main link? Your main site link? Like you have a main site link?
Just Facebook under my name, Lynne Nickerson.
And all the radio shows, they can all be found on Buzzsprouts, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. They're all over the place.
I mean, like you, Jeffrey, we had a lot of really interesting guests. And that thanks to Mark Eddy, of course, too, because he has a lot of contacts.
Yep, Mark was good to us.
Yeah, very good.
Yes, thanks to Mark. He's been hooking me up. I've had a rough year of job cuts and a lot of financial stress and stuff, and sometimes scheduling can be a pain. So Mark Eddy is definitely an angel in that regard. Sure.
We were always booking 3 months ahead.
Yeah. I'm scheduling for October right now, so trying to get try to do my Halloween, try to get that going good. I think I got Steve Ward so far for that, but I'm trying to find another Vlad the Impaler specialist. Those are hard to find. but those are interesting for sure. But we appreciate it so much. A great show. Thanks so much. And thank you, and keep us in the loop on future projects. We'd love to have you on again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jeffrey and Jay.
Fun. Thank you,
Nice
Jay.
to talk to you both.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, y'all have a
Yep,
good
you're welcome.
weekend. Take
Okay.
care.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. All right, everybody. You listen to Church of Mabus Radio, 107.7 FM New Orleans, and United Public Radio. What's up, Jay? You got hit by the tire bus.
The
Me
tire
too.
bus, yeah. I've been up since 5:30, so and then I got another show to do after this one, so I want to be up till 1. I'm gonna be one tired bunny when I'm done with this.
Oh my God! You got to do politics now and Trumpelgooch and blah 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 with Joe for what? How long? 3 hours?
3 hours, yeah.
Oh my God! Politics for 3 hours? I'd rather be shot.
Well, we get into other stuff too, but yeah, mostly politics.
Oh, it's just so boring. But it's just crazy. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, there's plenty to talk about. So yeah, well, I'll have 3 hours of that coming up.
You'll have 3 hours of Trumpelgooch and Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala.
Well, I think all I'm going to say is with that card, they're playing the race card, and that could be deadly on a lot of levels for Trump, because that might make, if you get all those people enlivened like with Obama, they will come out and vote. So
he's got a huge lead though. After the assassination attempt, he went up somewhere between 10 and 34% in all of the polls.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I think both sides suck. Our government sucks, and they can kiss my grits. So I don't even like our government. And it's like, even I like Bernie Sanders, but it's like being pro for a candidate these days. It's like being pro Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, yay! Hope you start some war. Yay! Ted Bundy. So I guess I try to be patriotic, but just don't feel anything for it, And then one minute you got the UFO congressional hearings. And then the next minute they're saying there's no alien life, and then blah, 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 blah. Just kiss my grits to the American government, to any government. I wonder if the Transylvanian government's cool. Transylvania, I'll go there.
I don't even know what type of government they have over there.
I don't know either. Me and Christina watched Dog Day Afternoon, and this Al Pacino old movie that was really weird.
Seen it?
Mostly because he's like robbing a whole bank to get his gay partner a sex change. It's like, well, that's a ringer. But anyway, he's going to Algeria. It's like, it was good though. I don't know if I'd watch it again anytime soon, but it's good. Al Pacino robbing banks, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I saw it once. It was okay.
Yeah, I saw a good Western. You didn't like all that gay stuff, did you? But anyway, I'm just kidding. But anyway, what else? Oh, The Dead Don't Hurt. Viggo Mortensen has a new Western. That was pretty good. Depressing, but not bad. It was worth the watch. It's kind of like Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't know if I can watch that again anytime or ever again, but it's worth the first watch. Did you ever see that?
No.
It's the Scorsese native depressing one about white people screwing over natives again and poisoning them for money.
Oh yeah,
but it's worth watching.
What was Viggo's new movie called?
The Dead Don't Hurt.
Dead Don't Hurt. Okay, I'm gonna try to find that because I like him. He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, it's good. It did well in the reviews and everything. But I just feel tired. We're just gonna sleep the rest of the show and meditate.
Yeah.
It's the apocalypse. This is my meditation voice. Feel your root chakra, your heart chakra, your moon chakra, your moon man, the moon pie. But I know a good one that's on Apple, unfortunately, so I'm not really going to subscribe to that, but that's all I'm going to say. Time Bandits, new series. It's good though. It's a
TV series?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
shit.
Apple. It's by Takahiti Wakiti. It's by the guy that did What We Do in the Shadows and Thor 3, 2, and 3, or 3, whatever he did.
Is it based off the same Time Bandits movie?
Yes, exactly.
Oh wow.
It has a Jermaine Clemente or whatever playing the villain. It's got Lisa Kudrow as one of like the pirates, the lady from Friends. It's good. It's actually good. It's going to be good. I mean, I saw the first episode. It's going to be good. I'll watch the others. That's for sure. It was well made. Funny.
Playing on Apple TV Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunately. You can still get Apple even if you don't have an Apple. So I guess that's good. But somehow I got Apple free for like 6 months through PlayStation. Mine's
That's
gone.
cool.
Yeah, mine's gone now though. But Time Bandits, that's a good one to get if it comes on Blu-ray if you need something good.
I have it in my DVD collection upstairs.
Yep. This is the TV series.
It was a weird movie.
Yep. It's definitely worth the watch. You been keeping up with those Thundercats comics?
Oh, I completely forgot about those. Damn it. No, next time I go to the comic store, I'm going to have to buy all the retro ones if they have them. I completely forgot about it.
The only thing I'm keeping up with is that Energon universe by Robert Kirkman and Transformers and G.I. Joe combined into a universe with Void Rivals. They just did a Cobra Commander 5 issues. They did a Duke 5 issues. They're doing a Destro 5 issues, and then they're doing Scarlet 5 issues, and then it accumulates into G.I. Joe #1 in November. Released a brand new G.I. Joe, and then Transformers is already going. That's like on number 10 right now, and then Void Rivals is like on number 12 right now. But they're all tied together. Somehow the Transformers are bringing Cybertron to Earth and trying to suck the life out of Earth. And I guess that's how they all get involved at the same time. And it's going to be all in the same universe. It's pretty crazy. It's well done. It's really good.
Maybe there'll be a TV show coming out of it.
I hope. You would think. They're doing it right. It ain't no Michael Bay crap. That's for sure. It's right. It's really good. Pretty much anything that Kirkman does turns to gold. Walking Dead, Invincible, like anything he does pretty much turns to gold, or they turn into some kind of movie property. I even heard he was involved with some kind of Rogers Laney Amber Chronicles, which is like a King Arthur Merlin thing.
Yeah, Rogers Zelazny.
Yeah, that's coming to a TV series somewhere with Kirkman in charge of it somehow. I have the book, like all the books in this big one, and I never read it, but I should one year.
Well, they tried to do the same thing with Jordan's Wheel of Time, and I don't think it went over. I think they went 3 seasons, maybe at most.
I didn't watch
another
it.
One they just did. I can't remember the name of it, but it was another book series that they made. It was about elves, but it was a books. God, with the 90s, probably, I think 90s to 2000s. These elf books were out. And the Shannara Chronicles. That's it.
Yeah, I remember
that. But briefly, I mean, so you gotta hope they do well, because what was the one with the Willow had a brief rehash too. It died out, So
it sucked.
Yeah,
it wasn't that good. They even took it off Disney, like the series. They even took the series off Disney for some reason, and it hadn't even been out that long, like a year or something. That little Warwick Davis was cussing out Disney like on Twitter or something. Right?
They may have taken it down because there was some homosexuality in it, but I don't know if that's the reason. But you can't find that, and that wasn't very good. And I think the one from the Hobbit TV show, I don't think it's still out there either.
Ring of Power, yeah, it is. There's coming back.
Okay.
That did well. That was done. That was pretty good, actually.
It was okay.
That's coming back. It's coming back.
I think they're guaranteed 3 seasons, but the first season was kind of slow.
I don't know what they're thinking with Willow. It was like lesbians and weird normal music from this current age over battle scenes and weirdness. Stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
They really screwed the pooch on that one. I couldn't even hardly get through it. I think I watched it all, but it was like torturous.
I watched it all, but it was I was just kind of bored through it, to be honest with you.
It's like lesbian chicks in it. It's like, come on, this is Willow, bro.
Yeah, so as soon as that revealed, I mean, I started losing interest. As soon as I was like, why do you got to add that? It's a kid's show. The movie's, I mean, it's a PG. I don't even think it's PG-13. I think it might even be a G movie.
Yeah, it's like woke. It bombed, so must have not did too well if they got rid of it. But just trying to find what's an old good movie. You seen any old good ones lately? Trying to find. We watched one called Death Trap with Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine. It was good, but definitely weird.
Yeah. No, we did. We bought a whole bunch of DVDs that were like in the $5 bin at Walmart. We got like Smokey Bandit 1, 2, and 3 on a set, and We're the Millers.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And the New Vacation, it was a a double feature 2-pack.
New Vacation.
It was Rusty, the son of Clark Griswold, Rusty Griswold. He takes his family on a vacation thing, and it was
okay. I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. It wasn't great. We're the Millers is funny as hell, though. But
yeah, a lot of new comedies are not that great. Like new comedy movies in the theater, they're usually sucky.
They're really not. I mean, besides like the We're the Millers and maybe a couple others, the only other ones I really liked was the rehash of the Three Stooges. That was funny.
I never saw that, but I meant to.
Yeah, it's good. You probably find it for free on Hulu or Freevee.
I'll have to look for it, but I meant to watch it. I just never got around to it. I know Jim Carrey was supposed to be in it, but I guess he wasn't. I thought he was supposed to be in it, but I guess something changed. But yeah, I'll have to check that out. Like old stuff. We watched some old Abbott and Costello recently. That's fun. Abbott and Costello, and what's that? Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy, yeah,
some good ones. Some old, like the classics, the old stuff. I want to watch Manhunter again. I haven't seen that in a while. The first, like Hannibal Lecter movie.
Yes, that's a good movie. Yeah, they changed the ending in the book in that movie a little bit, but that's okay because it's a really cool, live caught in camera special effect. And what happens is at the end of the movie, not to spoil if you haven't seen it, but sorry, they blow the bad guy's kidneys out, which is really awesome. You can actually see them splatter and hit the wall behind. So that's my favorite scene in that movie.
In Manhunter?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's based on Red Dragon, right?
The book is called Red Dragon by Thomas Harris, and it's the first book in the series of books with Hannibal Lecter.
And yeah, I've read it.
Yeah, it's a good book.
It's been a while, but he kind of puts out.
I recall reading it in like within a day, like 24 or 27 hours. It was that. I mean, literally, like I read the book all day, and then when I went to bed, I had 3 chapters left, which I read the very following morning.
Yeah, I've read all those books, and some are better than others for sure. I haven't read. Keanu Reeves has a new book out with China Melville or something, but it's based on these new comics that Keanu Reeves did called Berserker, where he's like some immortal warrior that's been around forever or something. But there's a new hardback coming out. I tried to score it, but I guess they're not going to send it. That's too bad. But gosh, man, next week is Ogopogo. Did you look at that yet? You got the book, right?
Yeah, I have the PDF up here on the screen.
That's next week. And so what's up with this JD Vance guy? There's this meme going around that he put a glove in a couch and screwed it, and it's in a book he wrote.
Oh, it's Hillbilly something. I didn't read the book. I don't know. I didn't read the book, but Hillbilly something was the title of it. It became a movie.
Really? Did he screw a couch in it?
I didn't see the movie, but I guess it has to be in the book. They got it from somewhere.
It's a quote from him.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Trump's vice president, just for our audience, apparently wrote a book and talked about putting a glove in a couch and banging it. There's one for Judge O show.
Oh, we've brought it up, yeah.
Oh, y'all have already brought it up. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
How'd that go?
It's just weird. I mean, what else can you say about it? It's just strange. Who does that?
I don't know. I've heard Marines do it a lot.
J.D. Vance, I guess.
I heard it's a Marine thing. Not to say every Marine does that, but that's what I heard. I don't know. Boot camp,
Yeah.
maybe?
It doesn't sound like something that would be much fun.
And but yeah, I saw the memes going around. The memes.
Well, we got a little less than 4 months still, a little over 3 months to go, and there's still a lot more fireworks to come. So you just keep watching. There's going to be some stuff happening.
Such as?
Well, I don't know. But I guarantee you something's going to explode.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not Yellowstone.
I don't think it's going to be that drastic, but
If
there's
I was
going to be
an
more
enemy,
fireworks, believe me.
if I was an enemy, that'd be the first thing I'd blow up.
Hmm.
That would take out everything. There was even some terrorist plans for a terrorist to blow up Yellowstone that they found and caught or something. Some terrorist was going to do it.
Well, if they could activate the caldera, I mean, it would take out the breadbasket. All of our food would be gone.
That's what they would like. They'd love it.
And so if they don't get to it,
What about the border? I mean, they always talk about like that's about to rise up and come through like Mad Max weirdness or something through Texas.
well,
The border.
Apparently they're saying upwards of 12 million people have come across the border since Biden took office, and at least one ISIL terrorist.
An ISIS terrorist?
ISIL or ISIS, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just surprised more hasn't happened with that, or how many did they stop? But I'm just surprised that something doesn't come through eventually, if they don't catch it. It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if they haven't smuggled in a dirty nuclear bomb or something across the border already.
Yeah, and then all they got to do is I'm just surprised it hasn't happened, honestly.
Yeah, that's the really scary part, because you can put it in a suitcase and just walk across the Mexican border with it.
And boom. Boom, boom, boom. I even see a lot of the right-wing people saying they think that some of the Trump stuff was staged. Not that it was like fake bodies or anything, but there was something to it. Like some of these right-wing personalities that even like Trump. I even seen a QAnon guy passing around a thing, and he's for Trump about the little capsules behind the ear or whatever. So it caused a lot of people, even the people on his side, to wonder if was staged or set up or something. And then you got it was on the 13th. Revelation 13, of course, is that beast quatrain about the beast being wounded and coming back in many heads. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you got just a lot of different weird things. There was a lot of different things I've seen that were weird, like kind of strange. So I don't know. I just don't even care. Trump doesn't give a shit about me. Neither does Biden or Kamala. They don't know I exist. So I'm poor right now. None of them are coming to save me. That's for sure. Yeah. So they can all kiss my grits. You want me to love you? Send me a nice check. I'll love you. For about $100,000, $1 million. My love needs to be at least $1 million. They don't care. Ain't no check coming. So, just more of the grind of apocalypse, blood, sweat, and tears. And the future here is scary. Something happens to my mom. My brother's out of work every time he farts. So the future here, my job just had cuts. The future's scary. It's like, man. Yeah. Starting to see Mad Max cannibalism tribe in my future. It's about the only way I'm going to survive. It's just crazy. Everything's just crazy. Bills are super high. $500 power bill. We just had the AC here leaking so bad that they had to come out. That cost $300 just for them to clean some weird thing in it that was getting caked up and crazy. So everything, you can't even fart without it being expensive.
Yeah, no, everything is up so high. I forget all the numbers, but the big ones were groceries are up 25%, gas is up 50%. Housing market is like the interest rates are through the roof for people buying new houses and getting mortgages. So I mean, yeah, it's struggle time for everybody unless you're making 6 or 7 figures a year. Everybody's hurting.
Yep. Seems like it's all about to just crash, come burning down. Surprises. What kind of surprises can happen? Border war, thermonuclear suitcase, more assassinations.
I mean, Putin could go hog wild and go after Europe. Who knows?
Yeah, the thing I don't get with Putin is he still ain't even beat Ukraine, has he?
No, he's getting his ass kicked.
So how's he going to do anything else? That's what I don't understand.
I didn't say he's going to be successful. I said he could try that. I mean, he's got a lot of old equipment that's on mothballs he could bring out, but it's no match for any of our equipment.
The only way he's going to do anything is if he drops a nuke. That's the only way. Sure, it's in his.
He won't do that if Trump gets into office. He said he wouldn't, and then if he does, though, Musk has said that he will divert his satellites. He's got something like 800 satellites up there. He'll divert his satellites into the path of their missiles and blow them up in outer space.
Is that possible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely possible.
Is Musk going to throw away that much money? It seems like a little prick. So, I mean
he's got billions of dollars, and he seemed to think that he didn't care what happened to the satellites. And then he says to Putin, he's like, look, you send up those missiles, I'll hit them with my satellites, and I can make more and put more satellites up into space before you can make more nukes.
I saw some weird thing about Elon Musk. His son must have took his own life and was on puberty blockers and like weird trans stuff. And now Musk is claiming war on the woke culture because of it or something. But I don't know if I give my kid puberty blockers. That doesn't sound good. But I mean, that's a whole nother world I don't understand. So.
Then the rich people just they don't think like normal people, I guess. Like my grandfather, when he was very successful with their trucking company, somewhere in the 80s. I don't even think he was that old. He might have been in his late 50s or early 60s. I don't even know. But in the 80s, he had a procedure done where they took all the blood out of him and replaced it with new blood. Kind of like a vampire. My grandfather. My grandfather. That was kind of nuts, so.
Yeah, why did he do it exactly?
To get younger. I don't know. I don't know what the actual result was, but he had the extra money that he had a Learjet at one point. So he just one of those weird things that I guess the rich people were getting into, changing their blood out.
Yeah, everything just feels crappy. You need an energy elevation. An energy boost.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my stress is just financial.
Yeah, same here.
It just feels like crap. The societal structure that we live in is just based on basically just slavery. Its own weird way of crappiness. When your bills and your mortgage and your everything other crap so high you can't even pay it. It's just insane.
Yeah.
It's like a $500 power bill.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to gouge us in the summertime. Every summer it goes up.
Well, I think the power bills were up like 35%.
Yeah.
Just for electric, I think. And I don't know what gas was. But yeah, all the utilities are up. Groceries, gas, everything that we need to, well, not necessarily survive, but everything we need to help us in our daily lives and get to work and get home from work. No one can afford that stuff anymore.
I basically, after I get my money and give everybody money for bills, I have zero left to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. No fun. No anything. Those days are over. And most of it's because of this extreme Trump supporter a-hole at my job. So, just a prick. But anyway, that's a whole nother show. I lack the strength for.
Right.
EC Comics is back. Do you remember them?
DC Comics?
EC.
No.
Tales from the Crypt.
Oh.
And stuff like that. EC Comics. They're back through Ani Press, and they did one called Epitaph of the Abyss, and then Cruel Universe. And it's basically like little stories by famous people in comics, like Creep Show and all that. Or Tales from the Dark Side. EC Comics was around a long time and did a bunch of weird stuff like Tales from the Crypt, weird science, and like weird little stories. You know, they were creepy, kind of like Creep Show. But they were like the king of it all. But they just made it. They're having a comeback.
Yeah, it was like a comic version of like Twilight Zone or
Elijah Wood's doing a new label for Ani Press called High Strangeness, and it's got a picture of an alien with all these masks on the wall of like Bigfoot and Pan and the green, like different things from aliens. Like I guess he pulls the mask down. It looks pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the picture. Let's see here. There it is. Hold on. Let me see if I can download it.
All right.
There's the picture. I just feel tired lately. It's like no matter what you do, you just feel, ugh. Let's see. Slides. I always have trouble with this. Can I just do one damn thing? Of course, it won't let me do that. Let's see. Definitely not. Okay. Invalid file type. You invalidate my butt. Let's see if I can see. Let's see if I can do it. Can you upload a file in private chat?
I don't think you can.
Son of a bitch.
I don't think you can.
Here's a logo. No, I can't really use that. I always get myself into this mess and messing with this crap. Let's see if I can do it this way. Let me full screen. No, I can't full screen it. See if this will work. Share screen. There it is. Hold on. There it is.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's basically Elijah Wood's new comic company. Comic books. Got a Man in Black there. I don't know who that is. I don't know what some of the stuff is, but
yeah.
Alien, goblins from that paranormal story, Hobbs, whatever, Anubis, Mantis, Green Man, Bigfoot, basically an entity that just can change into creatures.
Yeah, wow.
That's definitely one I'm going to be keeping an eye out on.
What's the one next to Bigfoot? Is that a Mothman?
That's one of those goblins where the goblins go in that house and they cause a ruckus. Like we were talking about it recently on the show. Hobbs End or Hobbs something, the Hobbsville goblins or something. It's a famous story about goblins. But definitely want to check that out. I don't think it comes out till next year.
Yeah, cool. It's neat though.
Yep. I don't know what's that little rosy cheek thing is next to Anubis. What is that? A Teletubby?
I don't know.
Baphomet. I don't know what that sheet thing is, like a ghost, I guess. Maybe there's Hillary down there.
It could be a Banshee, maybe.
Yeah, things from folklore. But that's definitely pretty cool. High Strangeness, Spectre Vision, Oni Press, ONI Press. So Baphomet's the Goat Man.
Yeah.
I don't know what that purple thing is.
I have no idea. It looks like a bandana, actually.
Yeah, some kind of folklore or something.
Is there a reptilian or a snake head up in the top corner?
It's a mantis.
Oh, that's mantis?
Yeah, it's like a praying mantis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
there's a gray alien, but right
yeah,
there,
gray alien in the middle.
on the right top is a praying mantis.
And then that must be Anubis behind the creature's head.
Yeah, can't see what's behind his body.
Looks like the Joker, kind of.
Yeah, it's weird. Can't really see it, but Man in Black down there.
Yeah, I see him. Or it could be the Blues Brothers.
Yep, never know.
You never know.
Repo Man and Men at Work recently. I've been wanting to watch Blues Brothers, but Repo
Supposedly
Man.
they're making a remake of Repo Man, a Repo Man 2.
Emilio Estevez. For sure, yeah. There's some EC Comics new ones. Cruel Universe and Epitaph of the Abyss. And EC Comics is back through Oni Press. And this right here is Elijah Wood's new company through Omni Press, High Strangeness. So High Strangeness isn't out yet, but you can get a hold of Cruel Universe and Epitaph from the Abyss. But man, so next week's Ogo Pogo. Ogo Pogo.
And isn't the lake the same name? The Lake Ogopogo?
I think so.
I think it's Lake Ogopogo.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Should be good, though. I mean, we haven't done anything on cryptos in a while.
Yeah, we did Susie Bastille, but you weren't here. She did a bunch of stuff on those goblins and stuff. The goblins. The
Goblin hordes.
The goblin hordes of doom and death.
Oh, and you did mention earlier in the show Vlad the Impaler. Look at this dude.
Is that a Pez dispenser?
Yeah, Vampire Pez.
I think it looks really big.
No, they're normal size. I mean, there's what's his name? Doc.
Oh, okay. Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
You just put it up close, so it looked a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean, right there. Like,
is that a new one, or they've been out?
I've had this one for a while, but they sold them at my last job when I was working at the AutoZone, and my girlfriend came in one day and saw them, and she had cash with her, so she bought like 5 or 10 of them. So I got a whole bunch of them on my desk here with candies in them.
Nice.
Well, I don't remember what movie this is. A Disney movie cat. She got.
I recognize the cat, but
yeah, I forget what it is.
Cinderella or something.
You got 2 Care Bear ones. I got a Groot, and this is only part of them. There's more upstairs, and then what's his face?
Baby Yoda.
Grogu.
They have Pez in them.
Yep.
Nice.
That's what I've been eating all night.
All right, everybody. You're listening to United Public Radio, 107.7 FM New Orleans. Next week, the monster of Ogopogo. Hope y'all stay safe out there. Watch out for Biden clones and Trumpagooches and Kamalas.
And lake monsters.
And lake monsters, yep. And acid rain. And check out The Dead Don't Hurt by Viggo Mortensen, his new Western, The Dead Don't Hurt. Everybody have a good weekend. Good night, everybody.